Dominik Kubalik, this is your time to shine. Unpack your bags, you're sticking around. The Ottawa Senators have no choice but to keep their guys because Shane Pinto has been suspended 41 games for violating NHL gambling rules. I was trying to think, okay, how the hell do I make this video? Like, where do I even go to talk about this? Like, do we just read the article? Do we just look at the tweets? Let's go out there and look at the tweets, shall we? Take a look at the articles published on Ottawa Sun as well, that the Senators center Shane Pinto to be suspended for gambling violations. Bruce Garriott goes out there and says this, that league sources say Pinto's online gambling account in the U.S. was flagged by a company that is a partner of the league because of unusual activity, and it contacted the NHL's head office recently. This is weird. And I don't want to go out there and start lambasting anybody too harshly, whatever. Hockey gods have a thing against the Ottawa Senators, it's an entire thing. But this seems like something that, if it got to the point where it was this bad, where he's violating the NHL's gambling rules, it says to me that there's a problem here. Guys, if you are in a position where gambling has taken over your life in a negative way, where you are overstepping boundaries, personal boundaries, you are interfering with your own financial procedures and your own financial well-being, talk to somebody. Get some help. There are hotlines available to help with gambling. Now, I'm not going to go out there and say that Shane Pinto had any of that stuff. We're going to read the articles on Sportsnet, just go over what happened here, but gambling can be an issue. And for a guy like Shane Pinto, who is 22 years old, hotshot, young NHLer, top athlete in the world, sure, he's not one of the best players in the NHL. If he's in the NHL, he's a top athlete in the world, simple as that. Sometimes guys can be in really strong positions in life, and it gives them the motivation to do crazy, extraordinary things, like maybe participate in illegal gambling services where you're betting on NHL stuff. Let's go out there and read the article on Sportsnet. Elliot Friedman did this a little bit ago. The NHL will suspend unsigned Ottawa Senators center Shane Pinto 41 games for violating the league gambling rules, multiple sources have told Sportsnet. The suspension was announced shortly after 9 a.m. here on the Pacific Coast on Thursday. The NHL announced today it was suspended NHL player Shane Pinto for activities related to sports wagering. The league's investigation found no evidence that Pinto made any wagers on NHL games, the statement reads. The NHL considers this matter closed, absent the emergence of new information, and will have no further comment. So that's interesting. Very, very interesting that the league did not accuse Pinto of wagering on NHL games, as a memo sent in March 2022 reminded all league and club personnel, including players, that wagering on any NHL game, even where legal, is absolutely prohibited and will constitute conduct that is dishonorable, prejudicial to or against the welfare of the league or the game of hockey under the NHL's constitution. So, yeah, we'll take some of these back. I mean, Pinto going out there and participating in illegal gambling, good thing that he wasn't betting on NHL games, but still, you kind of have to wonder, where exactly did this come from? The memo that Friedman is talking about also added that NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman is authorized to discipline individuals determined to have engaged in improper gambling activities in any or all of the following respects. So here you go. This is the list here. Expulsion or suspension, definite or indefinite period, canceling any contract that such individual may have, and or by imposing a fine. The league will act swiftly and aggressively in penalizing any league or club personnel determined to have engaged in acts of violation of the NHL gambling policy. My gosh, that is a big amount of information here. Pinto also goes out there and says, I want to apologize to the NHL, the Sens, my teammates, the fans, and the city of Ottawa, and most importantly, my family. I take full responsibility for my actions and look forward to getting back on the ice with my team. Now, this is the interesting part that the article goes into. We don't know exactly the timeline. It's believed the investigation, which began during the summer, intensified over the past little while. So the past few weeks, this is when everybody was talking about, oh, Pinto's got to get re-signed, you got to trade Joseph away, you got to trade Kubalik away, you got to do this, you got to do that. Dorian, what are you doing? The Sens, what are you guys doing? This intensified recently. So what I'm going to go out there and do, and I didn't think I would do this, but I think most people are going to be on board with this now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give props to Pierre Dorian. Because with this entire thing going on to the position where you could not re-sign the guy, we're going to assume that everybody knew about this for a while now. The Sens knew about this for a while, but they were able to keep things shut. We were not actually able to get this known to us until the big bad reveal that he has been out for an extended amount of time. That's a pretty good way to handle your business. Good on you, Ottawa. Good on you, Pierre Dorian, for doing this the right way. All negotiations to sign Pinto were paused as the NHL conducted a recent hearing into the matter. So there you go. I'm going to go and give a big pat on the back to Pierre Dorian for actually having the willingness and the ability to make it so that we did not find out about this until everything came down with the hammer. Let's go out there and read what the Senators said in a statement. Shane is a valued member of our hockey club, an engaging, intelligent young man who made poor decisions that have resulted in a suspension by the NHL. We know he is remorseful for his mistakes. The Sens fully support the NHL's rules on gambling. While saddened to learn of this issue, the entire organization remains committed to Shane and will work together to do what is necessary to help provide to support to allow him to address his issues and become a strong contributor to our community. When the time is right and with the league's blessing, we will welcome him back into the NHL and our organization and embrace him as one of our own. So the article goes out there and gives out all the statements. It also says here what Pinto did is exactly unknown. We don't really know in particular what things he did to go out there and break, but if we go out there and search out on Google NHL gambling rules, there are a few articles that kind of go over what we think could be it, but I mean, look, if you go over to this, it just shows a whole bunch of other things talking about Pinto. It's all about Pinto, so I'm not going to go out there and say that Pinto was definitively gambling on stuff like, I don't know, NHL games. The article specifically says that he didn't do that, but there was an extensive amount of gambling here, probably to the point where he violated NHL gambling rules. There isn't any piece online that says in particular what rules there are, but still, there is a gambling policy. Pinto broke it, and he's suspended for half the year because of that. And that is crazy. I did not think that was going to be a possibility, but Shane Pinto has gone out there and really put himself in a bad spot. Let's go over a few tweets before we end off this video. Where else can we look at that stuff? Yeah, so NHLPA says that Shane Pinto will not be appealing the 41-game suspension. He is going to take it on the chin and ride out half the year with this in his repertoire. And I mean, look, there are a few other things here. Let's go over to Bruce Garriock talking about what it is that Pinto ends up going through. There's another article. Let's go out there and read this one, actually. We did not look at this one. We looked at the Sportsnet one. More details are in this one. Let's see if there's anything interesting here. Oh, this zoomed in really badly. Okay, Pinto, first player under the NHL's rules to be suspended for gambling, and it's clear that Bettman decided he needed to set an example by coming down with a long, hard suspension. Yeah, my gosh, first one ever, eh? Once you start to tarnish the system, especially with your new partners in the gambling world, it's not good. You've kicked the wrong hornet's nest. The appearance of the integrity of the games? Whoa. League sources say that Pinto's online gambling account was flagged by a company. Yeah, since then the league had conducted a thorough investigation. I mean, it doesn't actually go over what exactly it was, but that's totally fine. All we know is that the guy was suspended and he'll be taking that on the chin. So, Shane Pinto, good on you for at least acknowledging your mistakes, but darn it, dude, this is really putting the Sens in a bad spot. Thoughts in the comment section below about Shane Pinto and the NHL's gambling rules that in which he violated. I hope you enjoyed this video. 99, and bye.